And welcome back, everybody, to the Phantom Zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain in all of YouTube entertainment today. And today, I am here to give you guys my review. Would have dropped it yesterday, but I was just too tired. Got out of the movie at like 3 o'clock. But I am going to drop my thoughts on Nope, and I'm really not going to tell you much about the story, because this is the kind of movie that you have to go in and just be surprised by what's going on. But I am going to just give you my overall thoughts and overview of what I think about this movie, how it relates to Jordan Peele's other movies, and my overall grade in that. But first, let me get started by saying Jordan Peele is an interesting fellow, because some people love Get Out more than us. I love Us more than Get Out. I've had arguments with people who don't like either. To them I say, you're fucking nuts and don't like good movies. Anyways, I think he's steadily been getting better now. Us is up for debate, and a lot of people were kind of mixed on it. I think it was one of the deepest movies he's done. This movie is quite interesting, because one thing I can say about Jordan Peele as a director is none of his movies are even remotely the same. Get Out had totally different subject matter, which was cleverly done, a little clever social commentary mixed in with a sort of sci-fi horror element. Us moved to, I think, more messaging, but yet again, like a human experimentation, horror, sci-fi kind of element. This one I would consider a lot more sci-fi. There's moments that are terrifying, but I don't think it leans into the horror. I would think of this as leaning more towards the sci-fi genre. So overall, this movie is quite possibly one of the most beautifully shot films that he has done to date. The cinematography in this film is tremendously done, and it is done by Christopher Nolan's cameraman, so that explains a lot. So he got Christopher Nolan's cinematographer to do the shots in this movie, and it shows. This is a movie that the action is great, the story is great, the plot is great. And honestly, I struggled as I sat back and I thought about it to think of negatives, because for me, every film has positives and negatives. But a film like this, it's really hard. It's almost nitpicking to try to find things that I did not like about this movie. From when the movie started and the opening of the film until the very end, it does not really have any pacing issues or anything like that. Now, some could say the beginning is a little bit slower, building up the situation and what's going on. But really, that's story building. If I had any negatives about this film, I would say, unlike Jordan Peele's other movies, my issues would be the characters. Jordan Peele is interesting. I said last year, and I'll say it again, he is one film away from a great movie. I don't think that this is going to be his greatest, even though I said great a lot. I was drinking when I did that short little thing. That was just my first initial thoughts. Like, I had a great time. The atmosphere was good. The people who were with me, there were only a couple of us screening this, but it was effective towards anyone. I know I audibly said, "Oh shit," quite a few times. But I think, as far as it goes, every one of his movies seemed to sacrifice one thing for another. Now, in Us, he sacrificed a good, resolution to characters more for his social commentary and his story overall, and the big twist reveal. In Get Out, he had good balance, but there, for me, was just something missing. I think parts of the story and the things that happen, and the ending really didn't grab me. Here, he has more focus on the story and the characters don't change. In Get Out and Us, there was a lot of character development. You learned a lot about the people. The thing about Nope is that you learn what you need to know about the characters, but they don't change through the movie. They are the exact same as they started. So where all of them starts is where they end. The two highlights of this film, I would have to say, for this movie, and it's so good, I'm going to attempt to say their names. So forgive me if I butcher the names of these characters here, but Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya, I got it right, and Stephen Yeun. Stephen Yeun I've known from The Walking Dead, and he did another good movie on Shudder. I believe it was called Mayhem. Daniel Kaluuya is from Black Panther. He actually skipped out on Black Panther to do this movie, and good for him, because nobody cares about Black Panther 2. And Keke Palmer, I think I've seen her in other stuff, but she was really good. Michael Wincott, I don't know how where to describe him from different movies, but he's just one of those actors you've seen in other films. All of them are very good. They're very energetic, but the big standout of this movie for me would have to be Keke Palmer. She has such an energy, and she's really hilarious. The video store guy, or Brandon Peele, yeah, he's the one I'm not gonna get. Brandon is also kind of comic relief too. The thing that was refreshing about this is the comedy does not undercut the drama. Serious scenes are serious, and dramatic scenes are dramatic, and the comedy is just very well blended in there. They talk like people would talk in the situation that they're in. They say the appropriate things, unlike movies like Thor 2. So it was nice to see a good blend of comedy in a horrendous situation. And there were situations that happened where they let you like sit in it for a bit and, you know, go, wow, that's messed up, without undercutting it with comedy. And I think that's the biggest strength of Jordan Peele, is that he understands how to balance comedy and drama, horror, sci-fi elements in together without going too far to one side or the other. He comes from a comedy background, so it's very easy for him to put and interject comedy into his movies without you feeling like he's making a joke at an inappropriate time. And that is much appreciated, especially for me with the stuff I've been watching lately on Marvel's end, where it's just way too much comedy, where really a situation should be serious. So Marvel, take notes, because this is how you balance out comedy and drama. Overall, I can't really say much more without giving too much of this movie away, so this will be a shorter review. The truth is, it's better to go in not knowing at all what's going on or where it's leading you, because holy shit. The ending in particular is some of the most beautiful cinematography I've ever seen. The shots are gorgeous. What's going on and how it's framed is excellent. And honestly, this might be his best work to date. And I like to see a director who's kind of progressing, and they take wildly different chances from their films. No film in Jordan Peele's filmography so far is alike. Look, Get Out is nothing like Us. Us is nothing like Nope, and Nope is nothing like the two prior films that have come before. And I really believe that this is slightly closer to that perfect film, but when I think of great movie, I think like John Carpenter, right, in the realm of horror, had 2 or 3 other movies, and then he made The Thing, right? He had like The Prince of Darkness, I think They Live, and then The Thing. Like, and now most of these movies are held as all great, but there is a clear difference between The Thing and everything else in his filmography, right? Or Halloween, or any of those. in the Mouth of Madness. There's differences between their works, and I think Jordan Peele's trajectory as a filmmaker is heading him in that way. We're going to see films that are wildly different from each other, and I think that really shows his range. This is by far probably his most blockbuster, I would say, as far as the way it's shot, how clean it looks, and the acting caliber. Now people are talking about awards and stuff like this. Do I think anybody's going to get an award? I think the characters are the characters that they need to be in the film. They don't really. This isn't going for Oscars. Like, for instance, Daniel Kaluuya is the strong silent type. Keke Palmer's the fun kind of polar opposite of his character. Like, there's nobody trying to hit that Oscar season kind of performance. They serve the movie's purpose, and they serve it quite well. But I don't think this is a movie that was attempting or even cared about going for an awards. This was there to tell a story, and I think really the character in this film is the story and the background and what they're shooting. That is the character. The story really takes center stage. That's the thing that's evolving and changing, while everything else in the background is intentionally staying the same, and I enjoyed it. I give this movie a 9 out of 10. Really, the point off would have to be just character development. There is none. The characters are what they call static characters. And he's so good at building up and changing characters through movies that it was an interesting choice to go with just a story that you're focusing on rather than the people. But he makes the people interesting. That's why it's kind of hard for me. But I think the movie should have had them change by the end of it or become different people or show something. But the truth is they don't change. They stay who they are. Who they are in the beginning is the very people they are at the ending, and nothing really moves for me. And I think that's a missed opportunity, because after what happened, I would think something would change. Granted, what you see by the end, it's just like, boom, that's it. So you don't know what happens to these characters if they do change. I just know while the story is going on, their personalities pretty much stay the same. And for me, that is one element in his movies I enjoyed, is like when you see the characters in Us or Get Out, they are not the same from when they start at the beginning of the movie, and you see the change. Get Out, I believe Daniel Kaluuya was also in that movie too, but you've seen how he started from this kind of shy, nice guy to being betrayed and just becoming vicious and doing what he needed to do to survive. Lupita Nyong'o, I believe you say her name, in Us. She starts off as this mother, married, and by the time you get to the end of Us, she has changed. She had to do things and kill her doppelganger, or I guess kill the real version. Those things all changed her by the end, and that family was not the same by the end of the movie. So it was interesting to make the story more of a character rather than the characters, and you'll see what I mean when you see the movie. But anyways, that's my non-spoiler review. Hopefully you guys go out and see it. I would recommend seeing it. I'm going to see it again on Friday, and I might do a spoiler breakdown after this movie has been out for a while to highlight certain scenes in the movie that I like and really dive into the story part, because that's the most intriguing part to talk about. So in the comments below, let me know, what did you think about Nope? Are you interested in seeing it? Have you got your tickets? Were you like me and got to see it ahead of time and can tell me about your thoughts without spoilers? If you see this video later, then please don't put spoilers in the comments. This is not a spoiler video, and I do not want to ruin it for other people. Anyways, thank you for watching. Check out the Fandom Zone on Friday nights for late night talks. Go over and check out the Prophets of Geek Culture on Monday for Marvel Monday, Sunday for Star Wars Sunday, and DC Tuesday. Thank you very much, and as always, remember the only rule here in the Fandom Zone: kneel before Zod.